Welcome to the channel. There they all are. I've got about 5 boxes full. They're to be shipped tomorrow, and they are full of 762 on belts that I have deprimed so they can be inspected. These are being shipped internationally, and the customer has requested that we label these boxes M240 belt. So we're going to do that today with my stencil set. Yes, I have one. These used to be, this is an ex-German military one, probably sometime around the 70s or 80s, and got decommissioned. It's got all the stencils inside, and we're going to do that today. Now the color choice I have is yellow or blue. I suspect I will go with blue. I'll stencil on the M240 belt, and then I'll see whether I can cram and insert some on the box as well. The colors that we're using is this Acrylic Studios brand. I think it's left over from something the kids did. We have a yellow, we have a blue, and we have our stencil kit. I can see whether I can read it. Schablonenausstattung, Markierungsschriftmaler, eine Versorgungsnummer, and WRTG TRP. God knows. Have we got a date? We do not have a date. So Schablonenausstattung means that it's a stencil kit. Nice and easy, and it's for marking and writing things. So we have some paper. We don't need that. I think that's my notes anyway. Now we have different sizes. So this is the largest size. I think that'll be huge. I don't think we'll get anything on there with that. See, that fills half the thing. So I think we'll put that one away. We have a number of small ones that I don't think would be much use to us either. I mean, this O isn't going to make much of an impact, is it? I mean, that's really tiny. But we also have these guys over here. They look pretty promising. So what have we got? So we got an 8, number 8. That goes there. See, I think that would work. What have we got? M240BELT. I think that'll just about fit. This rail here is a pain, but I think we'll just have to live with that. So I think that's the size we're going to go for. So let's see whether we can assemble our script. And this is our brush. We're going to use that later. I think we'll lay that out already. Gosh, this is still in alphabetical order. More or less. Oh, we have a 0. We have a 4, we have a 2. So I think that's our gig then. Well, I'm very pleased they are all there. Clearly have a complete set. Now, you basically, the way these fit, you'd think they'd be mounted on a rail, but I don't actually think that's true. The way they work is they slide into each other. So if you see just at the edges, see that slides together. That's easy. So does that. Right, so there's belt. So I found the letters for inert, and we have to start by sliding them together. And the way that is achieved, so it's in and then down, IN, here's the E. Now the I looks very thin, and so I'm going to put a blank in front of that. See, and this way I have a little bit of space for my brush to slip at least over here. I don't think I have another one to put on the other side, which is a shame. And then I'd better find myself a ruler. See, I have a short one. I think that'll actually do the job. I'll go with that, I think. Although it's not as easy to hold as the long one. And now I'm going to run one more strip of tape along the top, because I have noticed that they shrink sometimes. They want to slide into themselves, and of course that's not very desirable for us. So let's put a strip along the top. And there's our stencil. Let's do a test run. And there it is. And I think that looks alright. I think we'll do okay with that. So there's our box. I think what we'll do, we'll just touch the edge like that. See, now that's come out nice and clean. Let's give the rear a wipe. See, I've got myself a cloth now. The tape was sticking. It would rub off and stick in between the sharp corners of this metal surface. So we'll turn this around. And there we go. See the eye? Whenever you refill the brush, the first letter gets mushed. So I really have to be quite careful with that. Okay, so this is my final box. And I think that the conclusion that I've reached is that a drier brush is better than a wet one. And if you hold the stencil with 2 fingers, then it really can't go anywhere or shift side to side. And at that stage you just tap it. And that is really all that's to it. And that'll be dry almost immediately. And there are no blobs or anything. And it's reasonably trouble-free. So we're finished now. All the boxes are stenciled up. I think it worked reasonably well. I think the idea of sticking a ruler to it and making sure that none of the letters move is the way to go. I was fortunate I didn't have any double letters. I think if you don't have a stenciling set, I really don't think that would necessarily be a problem. I think you could cut these stencils out of some hard cardboard. I'd actually be using something like a shoebox. And I would cut out the lettering that I'd want, and I'd fill the edges with super glue so that they're hard and they're not going to fray under the brush. Now the brush itself, you want something that is quite flat. So if you have a look at this brush, it looks normal, but if we hold it on edge, it actually comes, it's perfectly flat. So you don't want something which has fine bristles. You want something that's quite stompy and wacky, because the bristles that go through the template, you really don't want them to stick out very far, because at that stage they might bend and go under your stencil and make a mess. And that's about it. So nice easy job. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.